Well,
it's not a debate. It's a war. We are locked and loaded for Sports War with Mike and Glenn. Glenn, what's going on, dude?
That's right. It is Sports War. Mike, you know what it's time for today? We never did this on the show. It's
Hashtag Team Mike.
Hashtag Team Glenn. It's time for a line brawl on today's show with the first segment. Because I know how me and you feel about it. We're allowed to interrupt each other in this segment here. So let me read Steve Cohen's tweet. I'm going to let you start, and then I'm going to get into my whole rant thing. Here's the quote that Steve Cohen, the New York Mets owner, said the other day. It's hard to understand how professional hitters can be this unproductive. The best teams have a more disciplined approach to slugging, and OPS numbers don't lie. Okay, start it. I'm going to respond in 2 seconds.
Do me a favor.
What's that?
Read the first sentence of that man tweeted again. Just the first sentence.
It's hard to understand how professional hitters can be this unproductive.
Why is an owner saying this is my question, okay?
Because he is a fan just like the rest of the New York Mets fans.
No.
You
let me go first, then I'm going to go first, okay? You are wrong. You are 100,000% wrong. And every last Mets fan who believed that Dwayne Haskins was better than Daniel Jones, by the way, you New York garbage fans think you know everything and you're wrong. I get it. He's right. He's right. Everyone knows he's right. But he's not the one to say that, especially to a cesspool of idiots on Twitter. That is the issue. The issue is not this guy who was wrong. He was right. He was right. I'll say it again. He was right. He was wrong for doing it this way.
Well, if you want to say he's wrong for doing it this way, Mike, why do we have a double standard with the Wilpons and Steve Cohen? Mets fans complained about the Wilpons wouldn't say anything. Now you're complaining that Steve Cohen's complaining? What do you possibly want? What do you possibly want? You want an owner to be like the same old Wilpons, where a team hasn't won a World Series since 1986? And you want to know why this tweet's not wrong, Mike? Because he doesn't call out a specific player. He called out an entire. He called out an entire.
So you all.
He didn't signal one player.
So you're saying basically, oh, you all suck, basically. You all suck. There is no one player because that would be stupid. Then people would really have a problem, actually. But he says he called the entire team and said they all suck. That's okay. His problem is he sucks as an owner.
Dude, he doesn't even have 1 year with the Mets. And some people said he's done more with the acquisitions of Francisco Lindor and Javi Baez.
How's that working out? How's that working out? The Braves with Noah Acuna Jr. are in first place in the division. Congratulations, Stephen Cohen, for being a loser like the rest of the Mets.
Well, it's going to take time, I suppose.
It's been since 1986. You said it yourself. The problem is not this crap. The problem is the fact it's the Mets, and people expect that he should do things differently because the franchise is poverty.
Basically.
I know it's your frustration, but I wish fans would understand these things. Glenn, what do you make of the Milwaukee Bucks facing the Brooklyn Nets on opening night?
Okay, so we switched topics. I completely love it.
Yeah.
Number one, James Harden has to watch Giannis Antetokounmpo when they get his ring on ceremony night. We know how much James Harden hates Giannis. Remember when James Harden said, "Oh, Giannis Antetokounmpo can dunk"? Well, I guess that Duncan won an NBA championship. What has James Harden won? Absolutely zippo. He hasn't won anything, okay? James Harden, I'm telling you, this is going to eat him alive. And the Brooklyn Nets have no more excuses. Remember, did you see what James Harden said yesterday, Mike, when we're all going to be healthy? That no one's going to beat us? Well, what's the Brooklyn Nets excuse going to be? when they're all healthy, and they still can't beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the best-of-7 series. Kevin Durant's got no pressure on himself to win the title. He's got 2 rings. Kyrie Irving won an NBA championship with LeBron James in 2016. He has no pressure. James Harden's got the most pressure than anybody. And basically, the NBA is saying to James Harden, basically sticking the middle finger at him. And I personally think these were the 2 best teams in the NBA last year. That's just my opinion about the Bucks facing the Nets on opening night. I love the fact that James Harden has to see Giannis win a ring and he could go cry about it in a corner.
You know, Glenn, as great as that sounds, because I do not like James Harden, people like you make me wish Giannis had not won a ring. People like you are the reason why winning rings is so context-filled. It's the ring that's it. He's great. He's wonderful. Yeah, Giannis is really good. He's really great. But the Nets are going to take a Charmin bath tissue, drag it all over their own butts, and shove it in the Bucks' faces. They're going to kill them when they're healthy. They're going to kill them. They're going to bend them over and stab them. It is going. Giannis was so good, yet he's being hyped to a place that I never thought I'd see him be hyped because he won a ring against Kevin Durant himself. That was it.
Can I tell you something, Mike? Let me ask you a question. Who stepped up in that Game 7 better in that series? Was it Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday, or was it James Harden? And the waning moments of the basketball game.
James Harden was hurt, but okay.
Exactly. Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday did more than James Harden. Yeah, I get the whole injury excuse, Mike. I understand that. But what's going to happen, what I'm saying is, what's going to happen if they're fully healthy and the Bucks still beat them? You understand what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. And the one thing you're missing is the Nets don't play defense.
I completely agree. The only thing that's holding me back from picking this game like plus 20 is the fact that the Brooklyn Nets would have a 20-point lead and gag it away in the final 5 minutes. Like, they have no ability to hold a lead, in my opinion. And I completely agree with that. What I disagree with is that the Bucks are some unbeatable team now with the unbeatable player, which is simply not true. Because I think Nets are going to go to a Milwaukee store, buy all the toilet paper they can, and use it to wipe their own cheeks on the Milwaukee Bucks.
Well, I personally think that the Brooklyn Nets, I agree that defense is the only thing in their path that's stopping them from a championship. But James Harden has also disappeared in playoff moments before, Mike. We just cannot deny that either. Houston Rockets, without Chris Paul to Game 7. Brick City from three-point land, okay? So we cannot deny that. That's just my opinion on it.
No, that's true, too, because and Kyrie never made the playoffs until LeBron James showed back up.
And he hit a clutch shot in a Game 7 against Golden
State. I don't care for that, because if it wasn't for LeBron, he would never been in that moment. Like, it doesn't,
right, exactly. That
doesn't matter. But to me, there comes a time that when you put that many guys who are hungry together, like when the Lakers won the championship in the bubble, a bunch of guys really want to. Like, Anthony Davis could never get over the hump.
Exactly.
And so I think when you're hungry, it helps. But chemistry and defense are going to be key, and that's why I still cannot pick the Brooklyn Nets to win it.
Yeah,
but I can pick them to win this game, though.
And we'll see. I think the Bucks. I think the Bucks are hearing the noise though. Oh, the Nets were hurt. The Nets would have beaten us if they were fully healthy. I guarantee you that is on the bulletin board for the Milwaukee Bucks. Don't you not think that for 1 second? They're using that as bulletin board material, Mike. Because what's gonna happen if the Bucks beat them by 20 on opening night? Yeah, I know it's one game.
That'd be bad.
I'm just saying, what if they do? I don't think it's gonna happen, and I agree with you. But what if it does?
Kyrie might take another 2 weeks off for depression.
Ha! Actually, that's not a funny thing.
It is funny whenever he does it because it's not true, but yeah.
Beck, want to go to commercial?
For a second there, I thought you were calling a flag. You're not calling a
No, I'm
flag?
not calling a flag. I was seeing if you wanted to go to commercial.
We're 11 minutes in, Glenn.
Okay.
Who's the producer here? Can you see the screen?
Yes,
Can you see what name is under mine?
producer.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey,
Stay on
so
this topic right now. Don't jump in the third one yet.
oh, you want me to stay on this topic?
Stay on this one for a little bit.
All right. So, like, Giannis Antetokounmpo, I really think that the Bucks are going to get worse this year as Giannis gets better. Because I feel like PJ Tucker going to 305 is going to be a massive hurt to that team. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's like Jared Dudley leaving the Lakers, because technically Jared Dudley doesn't do anything besides just, rub people the right way in the locker room. In terms of who's a favorite next year, I would say Bucks. What?
Actually, Mike, even though I think you should be right, but but all the sports books had the Nets ahead of the Bucks. I'm just letting you know that that's what I've seen. That's what I've seen. But I don't think it's by much. I think it's Nets, Lakers, and Bucks, and I don't know which order is, whatever order you want to see it. But if you ask me, I think the Bucks should be a little bit of the favorites next year, along with the Nets, and then maybe the Lakers after that. That's how I view it. But let me say this.
What?
Go ahead. What you want?
I was going to say, I want to not contradict myself, because I do know the Nets are healthy, but I still don't buy their bull crap. I don't buy their bull crap.
In regards to what?
I don't buy that they can put it together, because I don't think those guys have small enough egos to do that. So that's why I would give the Bucks a slight edge.
But
you want to do title matchup predictions?
No, that's not part of today's show.
Oh, yes, it is. Before break, I want to hear no debate. I just want to hear off the top of your head who you think is going to play in the NBA Finals.
Lakers and Heat.
You really do? I'm going to say some way, somehow, the Bucks get back to the finals, and they are going to play the Denver Nuggets.
Oh, you think Jokic breaks through?
Yes. And don't forget Jamal Murray's coming back. Don't forget Michael Porter Jr.
Porter Jr. is going to be huge. People don't understand. People like to talk about Jamal Murray, but people need to understand that Michael Porter Jr. is the answer in that team. He's the guy.
Better on defense.
Yeah, but he got better last year, but he's going to be really better this year. He was going to be crazy. We'll be right back with Sports War on 12 on Sports. Team Mike. That's Team Glenn. Glenn. Team Glenn. My bad. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
right, what's the score here? Is it 10-10? Okay.
10-10 here on Sports War. To add extra points, hashtag Team Mike or hashtag Team Glenn if you're feeling like a loser.
Hey. No, Team Mike if you want to be a loser, Team Glenn if you want to be a winner. But props to you for actually not napping today and actually being on the show on time.
That's why we're tied up right now.
Exactly.
So, Glenn, will Trae Young deliver a stocking full of coals on Christmas Day at Madison Square Garden to New York Knicks fans? Am I feeling a middle finger when we're giving the Knicks fans here?
Absolutely, he's going to deliver a stocking full of coal to the old New York Knicks fans. Remember when they said F Trae Young, and then Trae Young did a bow out in Game 5 and said, bye-bye. I know what they do with the shows here in New York. So he was actually being class personified about it rather than being completely disgraceful and disrespectful about it. So, what do you want to say?
I think that Trae Young is the next Steph Curry. And I mean, I've said it since his draft, by the way, that Trae Young is a better passer than Steph Curry. And if he can make close to the threes that Steph Curry makes, I like him as the next big thing in the NBA. I think Hawks are going to be good again. But this game is going to be emotional. I don't know why it's at the noon Eastern slot. I think he deserves a little bit later. But noon Eastern, when nobody turns on. I feel like Bucks and Celtics could have been pushed to noon Eastern because there's no bad blood. I don't feel like, but Trae Young and MSG, give me all that. Give me all that, please.
Let me ask you a question, Mike. Here are the games that are ahead of it. Well, I agree with you maybe about the Bucks and the Celtics, but you have Giannis, but he's a Finals MVP, so you have to put him at 230. You're going to tell me you're going to put Hawks and Knicks over Suns and Warriors where you have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson back versus Devin Booker and Chris Paul despite being on the West Coast? You're not replacing that game either with the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers, which is at 8. And you're certainly not replacing that 10:30, which is the West Coast game between the Dallas Mavericks and the Utah Jazz. So here are two things I want to bring up with you on Christmas Day with Trae Young being a superstar and all that. Number one, how could Zion Williamson's camp possibly be happy with this?
The fact that you have the Utah freaking Jazz. Well, I love Donovan Mitchell. I mean, I am literally an advocate to bring Mitchell to the 305, especially if Oladipo does not pan out. He ain't Zion Williamson. He is not Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson, after seeing this, I'm like a lot closer to requesting a trade right now. That team will do him no favors. I feel like Dan Gilbert could have said something about this, and he just didn't. This is a bad look.
Dan Gilbert is not the owner of the New Orleans Pelicans. He is the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. You're thinking of David Griffin, who is the general manager of the New Orleans Pelicans, who used to be in the front office with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That is the DG that threw me off. Wow.
That's okay. No, I understand. No, I get it. I understand why you thought that. But also, Nick Wright on Fox Sports 1 also brought this up. How do you feel if you're Nikola Jokic, who is the MVP, who's not playing on Christmas Day either? But the difference is that
Nuggets and Jazz would have been I love Luka. I would have rather seen Luka. God,
you have to have Luka because he's a future face of the NBA.
I think Luka versus Zion would have been a good one. Would that have been good for you?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been bad. But honestly, Mike, let me ask you two things. Number one, I don't think anyone cares about the New Orleans market. That's why they're not on. Number two, I don't think you're going to see a trade with Zion Williamson. I think Pelicans are going to offer him a contract extension. And you know what's going to happen? He's going to decline it and walk to the New York Knicks. That's what I think is going to happen.
You New York fans!
No, I'm not a Knicks fan. But Mike, you have to understand something. Do you remember on NBA draft lottery night where he wanted to go to New York Knicks. He's a big brand. He's a big brand who makes a ton of money. New Orleans is a bad fit for him. He was disgusted when he found out the New Orleans Pelicans had the 1 pick. I'm just saying, man.
Where did you get the Zion wanting to go to New York? Because I didn't hear that. I heard that's what
I've heard all sorts of things about that.
Media wanted him, but I have never heard Zion Williamson once say, bro, he is younger than
you
us.
have to see the look in
he
his
is
face.
younger than us. Why would he have a love for the Knicks?
He's a big media man. New York, well, yes.
You're like a deer in the headlights when I put a graphic up. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
You said you've heard all sorts of rumors that Zion wants to go to the Knicks. I'm asking you, did you hear that in your living room or in the sports world? I don't mean to startle you when I put graphics up, but I am the producer. I kind of have to do those things.
That's okay. It was not my living room. I've heard it in the sports world.
Listen. Cite one source, credible source that said it. If you can, I'll give you 2 points. If you can't, I'll deduct 2 points.
Colin Cowherd.
I said credible.
I give him one. Give him one, like, because Colin Cowherd supposedly talks to. No, drop him. Don't drop him 2. Drop him 1. Drop him 1. Colin Cowherd speaks. He makes up stories.
All right, let's move on from this whole Trae Young thing. What's up?
Are you ready for your bold predictions, Glenn?
Yes, I'm letting you go first with this one. Let's go, Mike.
Do you want to do 1 by 1, or do you want to just give them all?
You go give your 3 to 5, and I'll give my 3 to 5. That's how we're doing this.
This show has the flow of a rock bed today because Glenn keeps pausing when I put graphics up, but he is winning slightly, 15-13.
True. Okay, Glenn. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Sorry, Beck. Wins league MVP. Number 2, Cam Newton starts the entire season at quarterback for the Patriots.
Ooh, I like that one.
Number 3, Bears make the playoffs again with sorry Andy Dalton, Justin Fields.
Wait, what'd you say about number 3 with Andy Dalton and Justin Fields?
They will start Justin Fields the entire year. Sorry to Andy Dalton, who thinks he's better, because he's not. Number 4, Von Miller wins comeback player of the year. And the one that will throw you for a Fruit Loops.
Oh, no.
Sam Darnold leads the Panthers to the playoffs.
You know what, Mike? I like those 5.
What? Boo!
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's fair.
Are you ready for mine?
Yeah, because I thought I had you on the last one. Okay, cool.
Number 1, Justin Herbert will have a better season than Patrick Mahomes.
No, what?
What? Lose points. Wait, I have stats to back it up. They're closer in statistics than you think. Herbert threw for 4,336 yards last year and 31 touchdowns. Mahomes threw for 4,740 yards and 38 touchdowns. It's a little bit closer than you think.
On a bad year. Okay. Boy, yeah, I almost threw him out. Oh, wow. I quit. That was bad.
Glenn, first of all, we said 3 to 5 bold predictions. You made 1, lost a point, and then went silent on us. Are you okay? Are you stunned by your own bold prediction? Are you stunned by your own bold prediction?
No, I'm not stunned by my own bold predictions.
I had to take one away, man. You just said you could have picked a bigger name. You could have even said Big Ben wins one over Mahomes, but you went Justin Herbert. I had to take a point away, man. Go ahead.
Number 2. This is going to make Mike go crazy. How about Jalen Hurts plays better than Carson Wentz?
See that? That's the come. What?
Number 3, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the top-ranked defense in the NFL. They have all 11 starters coming back. And you saw what they did to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
Is that a bold prediction when they had the
No.
top-ranked defense last year?
No, it's
No.
not.
All right, number 4. This is going to make Mike go crazy. You have to hear me out on this. You know how you like Justin Fields? How about Andy Dalton gets more starts than Justin Fields this year because we don't know.
Drink yourself to death with Trulies right now.
That's
You're
not.
drink-
That's not that. That's a bold prediction, but it's not. But Mike's acting like it is a huge bold prediction. But how many teams? How many teams try to mold a rookie without throwing him in the fire right away? So that's actually somewhat of an intelligent take. I'm going to give him a point there. It's 17-16.
Ugh.
And number 5, the Tennessee Titans completely run away with the AFC South. Those are my 5 bold predictions.
You get him a cookie for that one too?
Listen, I gave him a point because it's technically valid, but I don't know that was bold either, Glenn.
That's okay. So
I'm not sure that was a bold
He had
take.
3 really, really crazy takes. And then 2 of them
Yeah.
just to make himself look better. That's fair.
They weren't. I wouldn't call them bold, but we do need to take a break. We're at the halfway point. It's tied 17-17. I think the judge is being awful cordial. It gets a little tougher here in the second half. I think my bonus question is going to maybe be the difference again this week. But we have some topics coming up where I'm going to be a little bit tougher on you with the point system. One team that's going to miss the playoffs in the NFC and AFC.
And we're vice versa-ing it.
Wait, one team who will miss the playoffs in the NFC and the AFC last season?
That made it last year, and then one team that'll make it that missed it last year. Vice versa.
Well, you had a grammar error there, but we'll fix it during the break. We'll be right back. This is Sports War. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
All right. So you ready? You ready for the next one, Mike? So who started what? Because I'm like kind of a little bit lost with who really started first with these topics today. So, do you want
Okay.
to go?
Listen. Glenn, you have the better record on the season, so you get to choose who goes first. And we'll
Okay.
do it that way.
Okay.
Eh,
All right, Mike, I want to hear who you think's going to miss the playoffs this year in the NFC and AFC first.
so remember, folks, the criteria is one team from each conference that will miss the playoffs this year that made it last year. Thank you, Beck, for that awesome, grammatically correct Glenn graphic.
You're
Okay. The team that will miss the playoffs, the AFC, that made it last year. The Colts, because of injuries. I couldn't do it to myself. I tried to talk myself out of this, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. Injuries are piling up. I love Sam Ellinger, but I can't count on him right now. Carson Wentz is hurt. I mean, I hate Jacob Eason, so it is what it is. NFC team that will miss it after making it last year are Zion's football team, the New Orleans Saints. Because although I do think Taysom Hill is better than Jameis and should start, well, the Michael Thomas crap is stupid. Unless Sean Payton's a genius, Saints missed the playoffs.
All right. My AFC team that's going to miss the playoffs is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number one, the Pittsburgh Steelers alone playing a division with the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns, who are better on paper, both of them, than the Steelers. Also, the Chargers got better, the Patriots are better, the Dolphins are better. The Steelers may be the 10th best team in the AFC. And plus, Ben Roethlisberger is not the quarterback he once was. And if they have to ask him to throw the football 40 to 50 times a game, it's going to be a downright disaster.
Come out. Okay, so Glenn first said that Big Ben is falling off technically, and I believe that's not true because Ben was hurt last year. And he said they have to throw 40 to 50 times. Najee Harris was born not yesterday, so just had to get that off my chest.
That's a good point about Najee Harris. That's not a disgraceful take. That's a very excellent take, Mike, about Najee Harris. Now in the NFC, who I think is going to miss, it's the New Orleans Saints, and it's the New Orleans Saints by a mile.
Yep.
I don't like the fact that there is no leadership in that locker room without Drew Brees. I don't know. Jameis Winston is a grown-up in the room. Taysom Hill, if he's the starting quarterback, cannot play the running back, wide receiver, tight end, special teams role anymore. You are better off with Jameis Winston as your quarterback than you are with Taysom Hill. Because Winston isn't as athletic as Taysom Hill is.
Yep.
The Saints are good on paper defensively. And you want to know something? Without Michael Thomas at wide receiver, they are very thin at wide receiver. They are going to stack 8 in the box on Alvin Kamara. He's going to have a very tough season. So the Saints are not better than the Carolina Panthers or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm wondering if there is a legitimate chance they could finish in last this year in the NFC South by the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but there's a chance it could happen.
I think Falcons finish last, if we're being fair.
Okay.
Okay, so Glenn, next topic will be, you can start it, but you go first with your AFC and NFC teams that will make it, but missed it last year. So the opposite side of this.
I'm going to start in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, you got me again.
Number one, they were just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and they have a loaded roster when healthy. One of the top defenses in the NFL, Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, and they always win games with Jimmy Garoppolo. Whether they go to Trey Lance or not is another story. But they also, their offensive philosophy is running the football. And George Kittle is one of the top tight ends in the NFL. Also, Brandon Ayuk, I think, is going to take a big jump this year at
Wow.
the wide receiver position along with Deebo Samuel. In the AFC, my playoff team is the Miami Dolphins.
Wow. Okay.
Number one, they missed the playoffs by a game last year. Now, I know there's a lot of critics about Tua Tagovailoa, but their defense is solidified. They have a defensive-minded head coach in Brian Flores. I think there will be serious chemistry between Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Waddle, who they drafted last year. They're going to use a running back by committee system. And analytically speaking, Mike, it works a lot in the NFL. So I think they're well coached by Brian Flores. This is a team that I think on paper is one of the best rosters in the NFL. So it is a team you cannot take lightly on a game-to-game basis. And if Tua Tagovailoa plays turnover-free football, if you can actually throw the football down the field, they'll be in the playoffs, not win the division.
He can. I believe that he can. And now that he's healthy, he should be fine. That could have been a bold prediction for you that the Dolphins have one of the best rosters in the NFL. That was a good one. So Glenn, I'm going to say the 49ers also are the team that made the playoffs this year that missed it last year. Trey Lance is the guy. Kyle Shanahan is the Kyle Shanahan. And I believe he was going to get things going again. And like you said, no more injuries. It's impossible to be as bad as they were last year. They were I always want to say they were fortunate for having injuries because they got okay, yeah. Put it on a shirt. But they definitely are going to be good next year.
Time out.
Whoa.
So, about your injury things, Mike, I wouldn't say they were forcing injuries last year. Do you remember in week 2 where the 49ers were at the Jets at MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, and there was a turf issue, and that's how their injury plague season started? Do you remember that? I don't know if you do, but I just wanted to touch on that. And there were a lot of people complaining. And let me ask you this question about the injuries. Do you think, because a lot of people are complaining about turf field, do you think they should play on turf field or natural grass?
I like natural grass. I feel like we grow up like playing football on grass or turf. Help me out here.
Well, I was a football manager in high school, and I loved the turf field they played on. I'm not sure what kind of turf it was. I loved it better than natural grass because that's what we had in high school. And we had to get rid of the grass field because it was too muddy. So we wanted turf for when it rained, and it wanted to be more neat. And I don't remember being a lot of injuries on the turf fields. Now it all depends on how you manage the turf. There's a lot of science behind it. So I'm not 100% sure how the science behind natural grass and turf is, but there's pros and cons with both.
Producer timeout. You have not let Mike finish his question.
Yeah, let me just finish it real quick because I also have a team in the AFC East. It's not the Dolphins though, although I love Tua. I love that you said that. Bill Belichick, the man behind the hoodie, will have his revenge. And the Patriots will make the playoffs this year, second place in the AFC East.
Oh, you went with the Patriots? Oh, my goodness.
I want to participate in this. Is it because you think Cam Newton's going to have a better year? Does he have extra weapons? You think they're run focused because they are 5 deep at running back? What is the deciding factor for the Patriots after a dismal year?
There's 2 of them, and the first one you can just kind of get rid of because it's just like the 49ers. The injuries and the COVID stuff with the Patriots was like they almost like they took a year off on purpose. And it's kind of weird to say that. But it feels like Bill Belichick schemed this little plot to just How about half the defense take off for COVID? But I honestly think Cam Newton looked so good last night. Cam Newton literally was throwing the ball like he still could throw the football, or not that he ever could, but he looked pretty spry last night. I thought he looked good. Yes, I don't ever think he arrived, but I do think Cam Newton is back, yes.
Well, I'm not going to say back, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, do you know how bad the Philadelphia Eagles are, Mike? They are extremely bad. They are going to be the worst team in the NFC East. And also Mac Jones carved up the Eagles last night. I think this is more bad Eagles than good Patriots. Now I know Bill Belichick's a genius and all that stuff, and Cam Newton and Mac Jones look good. But there's going to come at some point in time this season, Mike, that Cam Newton is not going to look that good, and they're going to be calling for Mac Jones. That's what I think.
I feel like the white people, I'm sorry, did I say it out loud? I feel like the people in Boston are going to call for Mac Jones anyways, just because they've kind of already written the death sentence for him, for Cam Newton. But I feel, and to answer this question, will the playoffs be Hoodie's biggest feat? Yes. It'll finally prove to the morons who reside in Boston and across the NFL now that Tom Brady was not the only thing keeping Bill Belichick afloat. Bill Belichick was good his last year in Cleveland. Bill Belichick was good with Drew Bledsoe. Tom Brady was better than Bledsoe. Sure, that's wonderful. And now you get a chance with Cam Newton. And heck, give Mac Jones. I don't care. They're making the playoffs regardless. But I think Cam Newton's going to be the starter.
Regardless is a strong word, Mike. I still don't like, you sign guys like Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar. But the question is, Mike, are they really going to be productive on offense, or are they going to be offensively challenged again like they were last year? Sure, it's an upgrade. But I have my rather questions with the Patriots offense. They're probably going to be a run-first power offense with Cam Newton, Damian Harris, who I like, by the way, who had an excellent year last year for the New England Patriots. But there are questions. I feel like there are more questions than answers with the New England Patriots offense. Lost a point.
Glenn, you didn't lose a point. You are a deer, and you're going to. You are a deer in the headlights today. You were down 3 points before that. Are you okay? Did you drink too many Trulies before the show?
Yes.
No.
We need a 30-second commercial. Then we're going to come back with my own question, but that's not the bonus question. The bonus question's coming at 10 till. So we're going to do a really short commercial break right now.
He's hungover.
Okay, so this is not the bonus question, okay? And we should have my bookie up is what we should have. If you were forced to bet at plus 2,000, so that's going to eliminate some teams that you can bet on, who would you pick to win the Super Bowl? So I'm going to try to bring these odds up. At plus 2,000, the first team you can bet for at plus 2,000 is the Broncos. The teams you cannot bet for: the Browns, the Packers, the Niners, the Rams, the Ravens, the Bills, the Buccaneers, and the Chiefs. Those are the teams you cannot bet on. At plus 2,000, who would you bet? Glenn.
First of all, want to know what's completely disgusting? How are the Tennessee Titans not on this list? How are they not on this list?
Because they're plus 2,500. So that's your pick?
Yes.
Don't you know how this game's played?
Yes, I know how this game's played. First of all, the Tennessee Titans should be higher. They should be one of the favorites up there. Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, a front-loaded offense. They are going to be better defensively than people make them out to be.
There's a ton of value there then.
They were the 4th-ranked offense last year. They are going to be the favorites to win the AFC South. I think they could play with teams like the Cleveland Browns, Kansas City Chiefs, and Buffalo Bills, along with the Baltimore Ravens. So the Tennessee Titans is a team I would pick on tomorrow to win the Super Bowl with the plus 2,000 odds.
So Glenn would take the Titans at plus 2,500. Here we go. This isn't the bonus question. This is a bonus point. The first person that can blurt it out, you have to answer immediately. Who's got the worst odds in the NFL?
Houston Texans.
Glenn got it. Bonus point. 25 all. All right. Mike, who would you bet on if you could only go plus 2,000 or worse?
Patriots. I'm
Patriots.
not kidding.
Let's see. The Patriots are at plus 3,000, so you're close to what Glenn would be risking. Plus reward. So you guys get the Titans and the Patriots. I don't know. I gave you a point because you blindly picked one that's not. You picked one that's in the range that I said you had to pick. But I mean, the Patriots. You really think they're going to win the Super Bowl?
I mean, if I had to pick a dark horse, I seriously trust them to bounce back. Give me some options here, like between 2,000 and 3,000.
Seahawks and Dolphins.
Nope.
No.
Hell no.
No.
Seahawks are going to miss the playoffs.
Did you say the Bills are in the? Where are the Bills?
Oh, come on, Glenn.
No, I'm just curious.
The Bills are plus The Bills are plus 1,300.
Okay, so now forget that.
What if we threw these two teams in your face? How about the Cowboys and Saints?
No.
Glenn, this is how you bet though. You bet on something you don't think's going to happen, but you want to get a big payday off of it.
I'm curious, where's the Washington football team and New York Giants ranked?
You are stuck on the Giants. Washington football team is plus 5,000. The Giants are plus 7,500.
Why are the Giants lower?
I would take both of those.
The Giants have worse odds to win the Super Bowl.
Danny Dimes is disrespect us, my guy.
Well, I'm more stunned that the Lions have better odds than the Texans, but maybe I'm out of touch here. All right, bonus question time.
Where's Carolina? Lastly, where's Carolina?
The Panthers are, holy cow, plus 6,000.
Wow!
So
that's an interesting one.
So if you actually think they're going to win the Super Bowl, Glenn, for every dollar you bet, you get returned $6,000. You might want to get on MyBookie under the promo code 12OZ Sports. Bonus point for the producer. All right, here comes the bonus.
What about his 5 extra bonus points for his comment today?
For what?
For your comment today about Michael Carvalho sleeping like Patrick Starr.
Oh my God.
Well, that was my point you said, so I'm plus 2 now.
I said it's 5 extra points, and it was the 5 extra points plus your 1 now, so you have 6.
So the bonus question's coming. We got a little less than 10 minutes to go. Since Glenn is trailing 26-25, I'm going to let him go first. It's going to come up on the screen as soon as I disappear.
ACC announced COVID issues result in forfeit. Fair or no? I'm going to say it is fair this year. Why do I say it's fair this year? Number one, we have now the coronavirus vaccinations, and I know there's a lot of political issues with it. Some people don't want to take it. Some people do. And there's a bunch of fighting going back and forth on it. Number two, teams are going to want to keep playing week by week. Okay? So I don't think they want to mess up the schedule flow like they had to last year. They don't want to have to deal with something like that ever again. So
I'm trying to translate your point. Are you saying they don't want to go through the hassle they went through last year with rescheduling?
Correct.
That's a good point.
Okay, I'll give you a point on that one.
Yes. They don't want to have to do it again. And it's going to be their own team's fault if you do not follow the rules. So that's how. So I think all leagues should do this.
I feel like this question tripped you up, Glenn. You didn't have time to prepare. You only have 2 out of the 5 points, and you're down to 3 minutes of your answer.
Okay. So I'm down to 3 minutes of time to do my answer here. I'm going to defer to Mike, and I want to see what he says and maybe follow up on it.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do here.
Okay. ACC announced COVID issues result in a forfeit. Fair or not? It's 100,000% fair. 100,000% fair. The scheduling thing obviously is a big part, which I did not think about. So kudos to you, Glenn. But really, what if you want to win? What really is holding you back from just simple precautions? Like, if you have a COVID outbreak, it's on you. You can't blame the public. You can't blame politics. You don't go partying. I know it's hard. Don't go partying like a bunch of idiots. You're playing football. You want to make it to the next level? This is what you gotta do. Anything else I could see? That's it for me. I've always thought this was a fair point. Great question.
All right, so Glenn, you've only gotten 2 out of the 5 points. Mike got 3 out of the 5, but Mike did not protest you getting the counterpoint. Just to play devil's advocate here, with the fact that the Delta variant is proving that you can still get COVID even with the vaccine. So a team could do everything they're supposed to do and still have a COVID outbreak by 2 or 3 players, and they're going to have to forfeit that whole game. You guys think that's fair, huh?
Wait, 2 or 3?
What?
2 or 3? I mean, I don't know if that would be. Well, at what point are they considering an outbreak, though? Is 2 or 3 an outbreak?
Because if a couple players get COVID, everybody else has to quarantine. Conceivably, everybody in their position group has been around them, so then they're going to have to quarantine. If they have to quarantine for 2 weeks, they're forfeiting 2 games. When we already know, even if you have the vaccine, you can still get COVID. So you still think that's fair? We're running down to about 3 minutes. Let's see.
Well,
it's still Glenn's turn to defer.
You know what I call that back? That's just called being unlucky. If the teams do what they're supposed to do and follow the protocols right, then it's just called bad luck. Then, you know the old phrase, everything happens for a reason. Well, I guess it's just not meant to be.
So you're going to make a team forfeit through bad luck?
Yes, if they do all the things right.
Even if everybody...
What?
Even if everybody on the team's vaccinated and you know you can still get COVID with the vaccination, you're going to make them forfeit an entire game, even though we know those players that are vaccinated could actually get COVID during the game.
Chances are, I think it's the best point that I've made all show. I work in the public eye, Beck, and I want you to stay on the screen for this. I worked at Dollar General for a good 6 months to a year during COVID.
Go ahead. I'm just advertising.
Oh my Lord. I also worked at an ER right here down the street. I worked at the hospital doing security. You know what's crazy about that? I'm also a fat guy. You know I haven't gotten COVID? I wear a mask 24/7. It's not. There are ways to not.
I'm going to take a point. I'm going to take a point away from you. You're not wearing one right now. You just said you wear it 24/7. So there you go. Down 1. False facts. False facts. We're down to 2.5 minutes. Don't make any more false facts. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I wear one the entire time I'm at work, except for when I'm eating. And I will say this. It is so easy to say, oh, well, I don't want to wear it. I don't feel like wearing it. Once I got used to wearing it, it really wasn't hard. And people that I've known that have worn it a lot don't get it. Like, I hate saying that. Like, that's just the end all be all, but it kind of is true for me.
I think
Well-
wearing the mask. I think wearing the mask is a lot easier decision than getting the shot.
Well,
I agree.
Well, I agree, but I was just so sick of the mask already that I just want to go to places where you don't have the mask anymore. It after a while, sometimes you just can't breathe in the mask. It's like after a while, if you wear it for several hours, you just can't breathe in it. The first
It's
time,
cloth. It's cloth. You saying your butt can't breathe?
Ooh.
Ugh.
I took a point away on that one. What do you mean you can't breathe with a mask on? What kind of mask are you wearing? It's not supposed to be metal. It's supposed to be cloth.
I didn't think Beck would be taking away points today for political reasons.
That's
What?
not political. That's not political. You just said you can't breathe through cloth. That's a false fact. Talkman texted me laughing. I took a point away from Mike for saying he wore a mask 24/7. I'm taking points away for false facts. You just said you can't breathe through cloth.
Hey, I said after a while. I said after a while.
What does your
Yes, I
is
did.
there
I said after a while.
is there something in your breath that builds up on the cloth that starts blocking the passage? It doesn't make that's not science.
Science,
You don't want to know
bad
what's
hygiene,
not science,
Glenn.
Matt? How about Dr. Anthony Fauci? They're just making it up as they go. We don't
This
know
went-
if it's based on the science the whole time.
This went from sports show to political show. Why are you bringing up Fauci? I was just trying to make a point that you claim that you can't breathe through cloth.
You know, that's why I was so surprised that Glenn actually said that it was fair. I'm like, this is a Trump guy over here. How is this possible? I was
So-
shocked that he said that.
So I want to point out Mike's got a 2-point lead. I think Mike's lost 2 points today. One for false facts and 2 for false facts. Is that true?
One for false facts.
Okay, so Glenn's lost 2 for false facts, and Mike got a bonus point because he's the only one of you two that tweeted out in the middle of the show. So because of false facts and self-promotion, Mike wins today by 2 points. It was another close one, but Glenn, you brought the notes, but I'm just gonna say for next week, the bonus question tripped you up, and I think it's because you didn't have 18 hours to prepare for it. Is that
I
accurate?
don't prepare for the bonus questions, Beck. You don't tell us.
Exactly. That's why it's a bonus question. So we're all evened up 2, 2, and 1. You guys want to promote anything? We're under a minute here.
Nah, we're good.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm taking another one away. I'm taking another one away. He's not even promoting his own show. Go ahead, Mike.
Glenn'sProfessional.com is Glenn's sports takes. And guys, when I say these articles rock, like when I gave this man $4 a month, I was like, wow.
But
He
the
made-
owner of the blog doesn't want to promote it. So, all right,
Right.
Mike, you're on AM Drive every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Glenn, you're on Monday and Thursday, 11 a.m. Mike, you do the PM Drive every once in a while.
midnight. Come on now.
And then you guys do this on Fridays at 1 p.m. We're
I'm
down to 5 seconds. Thanks for watching Sports War. Peace.